Each episode of the Lion Goat podcast is completely improvised. Expect comedy. Do not expect consistency or sense to be made. This is random nonsense for your amusement. On today's episode, Mr.Anonymous is reunited with the infamous QTheGambler and Glenda the Wicked Witch of the South. You'll be astounded as they discuss the history of Dorothy Dix's literary career, the improprieties of prison life, and Hurricane Gator trauma. Don't miss the conclusion for a reveal about the efficacy of holy interplumbitory dumbwaiting. Warning: the following podcast contains explicit material intended for emotionally immature adults. Trigger warnings for this episode include discussion about adult themes, violence, profanity, murder, sexually explicit behavior, political incorrectness, animal, emotional, mental, physical, sexual, and substance abuse. It might rot your brain. I warned you. If you want to experience this podcast as intended, listen while wearing stereo headphones.
Welcome to your next experience of the great beyond. We're here today on the Lion Goat Podcast to discuss all things lion and all things goat. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to welcome you back. We have such a wonderful surprise today. The gambler has returned. I was just saying on the last episode how much I miss the gambler. Oh, Gambler, welcome back. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming to see us. This is Q the Gambler.
Thank you for bringing me on the show. It's great to be back.
I'm so pleased. So what has been going on? Rambling and gambling, how have you been? Tell us all about your story. Tell us where you've been. How did you escape? Are you healed? I mean, they beat you quite ferociously on the last episode that you were with us. Are you still alive, sir?
I am good and alive. I don't know how I made it out of them situations, but they call me a magic man for a reason.
It sounded like they were using blunt force instruments upon you. Were you beaten with nightsticks and roughhoused around the room? I mean, was it a case of police brutality? Do you have a legal case on your hands, sir?
I got a lot of illegal cases, but they were tickling my taint. I was scared for my life. I didn't know what I had to do, man. You know, it's just, you're surrounded by all these people. Your nutsacks are hanging out. You're just confused and running around. Like, I ran into this old witch lady down in the market.
Is that the witch lady that's with you coughing into the microphone while you're speaking now? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's the famous witch lady.
Oh, are you now hanging with the witch lady? Is she your hot mama, as you might say?
Yeah, she's my hot mama.
Oh my goodness, you found a hot mama witch lady. Oh, but they were tickling your taint. Now that doesn't sound quite awful. I mean, was it enjoyable while the cops were tickling your taint and your balls were hanging out?
No, they had this device. What it would do, it would like grab your nuts and pinch as hard as it could, and they'd have this other fat, I'm talking about really fat, officer back there, and he'd have this little duck feather, and he'd walk up and he'd tickle your taint, and then he'd work his way up your gooch until your asshole, and he would sit there in your asshole a minute and make you fucking just wiggle and wiggle. It was just, I couldn't believe it, man. I was ready to get the fuck out of there, dude.
Now, did you say that was the feather of a dove or the feather of a duck? I didn't quite hear.
Feather of a duck.
A duck. Oh, a duck feather. So they have ducks in the police department?
Yeah.
Are they special crime-fighting ducks? Is that what I heard quacking there in the background? Crime-fighting ducks?
Yeah, those are the crime-fighting ducks I got. They take on massive amounts of crime every night.
Are you still at the police station with your hot mama witch and the crime-fighting ducks?
I am currently still here.
Oh my goodness. Are you still incarcerated, sir, or have you flipped sides? Have you become one of the men, as they might say?
Well, you know, I'm kind of an informant. I work with them, but I can also do whatever I want illegal.
I see. They let you get away with doing whatever you want. All the illegal gambling that you could possibly desire, yet you still are an informant for the police. So are you helping them bust other gamblers? Is there a gambler ring that's going on? What are you informing upon?
See, I can't go into too much detail about it. You're already asking too many questions.
Oh, I see. It's a secret mission.
Yeah.
A secret, and that's why they're using ducks. Because it's such a secret, and whenever there's gambling near a pond and the other gamblers are there feeding the ducks with the breadcrumbs, they just swoop in with their little duck feathers and grab the criminals and tickle their taints until they confess. I'm getting the picture now. I'm understanding. Can the hot mama witch talk some on the microphone? Is she available for joining the podcast as well? I have many questions about her Wicca.
Yeah, go ahead. She's right here.
Hot mama witch, are you there?
Yes, I am the hot mama witch. What can I do for you, sir?
You call yourself the hot mama witch?
No, that's just what everyone calls me. I don't know why.
So what was your crime? Are you being incarcerated just for your Wicca religion practice?
No. I'm being incarcerated because, well, it's a funny story, I guess you could say. That I robbed a bank with a slab of meat, a T-bone steak, and I was caught because the police dog, they got the steak out of my pocket, ripped my dress, and now I'm sitting in a police station, half naked, with dog scratches all over me. As you can tell, there are dogs here.
Yes. I did hear the dogs. I thought they were the ducks, though. The ducks and the dogs are quacking at the same time. I hate it when the dogs quack. It's so disconcerting. But I have questions for you about this heist that you performed with meat in your pocket. Was the T-bone steak your accomplice?
But no. I robbed the bank with a T-bone steak, sir, in my hand.
Oh,
I gave the teller a letter. I whipped the steak out of my pocket, my purse, if you will, and I slapped the teller and demanded money with expedient haste. And I did not get very much money. I got to like $3 from the teller, and then the cops, as I said, appeared, and the dogs wrestled me to the ground, stealing my steak, rendering me weaponless. And now I have nothing for dinner once I return home.
perhaps next time you should ask the teller to empty her drawer, the bank drawer, instead of her wallet. I mean, you'd be sure to get more money, and I'm not so sure that a T-bone steak counts as armed robbery. Did they charge you with armed robbery, or did they just charge you with slapping a teller with a steak?
Yes, well, physical is threatening with meat and attempted robbery and assault on a police dog, which I don't feel is correct at all, sir. I'm the one with teeth marks in my behind. I don't think this is accurate. I will be getting a good lawyer. I have a good lawyer, at least, I think.
Oh, you do? Can you recommend counsel to our audience?
Uh,
I mean, I'm sure there's many members of the audience that are also guilty of trying to rob banks with steaks.
I feel like I might be the only one, sir, but I see a man named Quicken McDraw Dougal. There's my legal representation, Quicken McDraw and Dougal. There's a fine, fabulous law firm in the tri-state area here. You see their commercials, you see their billboard, you just give them a shout.
Oh, you called them on the phone. I see. So it's one of those ambulance-chasing lawyer firms. They're sort of like, oh, what was his name? Better Call Saul on that popular television show. Is that the sort of lawyers that we're dealing with?
No, they are quality lawyers. They're not flim-flam men.
Oh, I see, like your steak.
Yeah. They have settled many of cases for me, myself. I don't know if QTheGambler has ever had them as legal representation, because, he's in and out of a lot of fixes, this guy here.
Q, are you seeing the same lawyer? Is your lawyer one of the Dougal boys?
No, you see, I'm a free, wild man.
Well, I know you're a wild man.
I escape any prison I get put in, and I am not scared of no law.
I know you're running around stealing guns from chimpanzees and going to all of these casinos in Africa and South America and all of your wild tales of going on trips with Wiccan women.
Piece of cake.
So, Hot Mama, what was your name? Hot Mama Wicked Witch Woman?
Yes.
That's your name? Hot Mama Witch Woman?
Yes.
That's just what you go by?
That is accurate.
Was that your name at birth?
Yes.
Yep, that's what we all know her by.
Yes, usually you'll find me in the bayous of Louisiana. That's usually my home area, but I ran into Q. We got kicking around doing gambling and Wicca stuff. Well, not really Wicca stuff.
Well, I was having a hard time placing your accent. It sounded somewhere between Boston and New York and Louisiana all at the same time. It's a wonderful...
I am a hot mama witch from all places. I don't call any place really home, but Louisiana, the swamps there, are closest to my heart. I have a pet alligator there. His name is Russell. You know, he pulls my boat around when I'm there. He's a nice alligator. And it's a very beautiful country.
That's a wonderful form of propulsion, the alligator-powered fan boat. I love that, the alligator-powered bayou boat. That sounds splendid. And I do love your accent. I think that's an appropriate name for an alligator, Russell. I think that's a perfect name. But how did you end up where you are now? I mean, were you just on a wild spree of robbing banks across the country and you left your bayou?
No, I was just here and decided to rob a bank so I could go somewhere else because I had lost all my money to Q here in a poker game. He's an excellent gambler.
Oh, so you met before the police station. I thought you met in the police station. I thought maybe they were tickling your taint with duck feathers, too.
They did not do that to me. I don't know what kind of area of the prison that Q was in, but I was beaten with...
With your very own T-bone steak? They beat you with your very own T-bone steak?
No, I was beaten with donuts. I don't understand. They just had donuts and hot coffee thrown at me for hours. They kept telling me that I deserved what I was getting. Told me not to eat donuts. Told me to just take the pelting of donuts. There was like 34 officers there throwing the donuts. There was a lot of donuts. I think they were Dunkin', because, the world runs on Dunkin'.
Were they playing ring toss with your nipples? Why were they throwing the donuts? What are they doing with these donuts?
They were very hard donuts, so I feel like they were stale and maybe a couple of days old.
Well, that's the best kind for dunking.
Now I have a gash here above my eye. You can see where the donut cut me.
You were cut with a donut. That is a very stale donut.
And this other eye here, that is where the hot coffee got me. It's burned. It's like a second-degree burn, maybe. It's definitely red and tender.
Oh, I thought that was just how Q liked his ladies, with that sort of dripping flesh look. Have you turned any of the police officers, Q? Have you got them to join your gambling ring?
Yeah, I have gotten a few.
So what games are you playing these days? Are you still playing Texas Hold'em, or have you moved on to different games? Maybe a 7-card stud, a 3-card Monty?
Texas Hold'em.
All right, so you're still betting it all on the river then?
I am, all of it.
Now, how much have you earned while you've been there in prison?
In prison, I've earned around $50,000 so far.
Well, that's a good haul in prison. I mean, I've never heard of anyone winning so much money while they were in prison. That's delightful. And are you taking other convicts, or is it mostly the duck-wielding police officers?
Just the duck-wielding police officers. After the first time I went through their torturement, I guess you can call it, I've been afraid, so I tried to befriend them, and I'd give them about 10,000% of what I make.
I've noticed there's a slight decrease in your southern accent since you've been in prison. I'm not sure how to say it. Is talking with the other prisoners influencing you? Or are you just trying to sound a little more homey so you fit in well and everybody treats you better? I've heard a southern accent can make people treat you better. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm just treated better down here. Down here in Georgia where we're locked up at, the more southern you sound, the better off you are.
So they've taken you all the way to Georgia to lock you up and treat you horribly with your torturements. Now, are you outside of the great city of Atlanta? Is that where you're at? Are you in another part of Georgia? Are you down near Muscle Shoals? Where have they put you?
I'm in Orange County.
Frankly, that's bullshit.
Orange County, Georgia. Orange County, Georgia. I have no idea where that is. Perhaps I'll go there someday. Maybe I shouldn't go there, though. I mean, it sounds like not such a nice place if they torture you with ducks and they have dogs barking at you and there's wild witch women. Wild witch woman, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Are you a voodoo witch? Are you a Wiccan witch?
I'm just a very, very spiteful person. I don't really do witchcraft per se.
Absolute lies.
It's a polite way of calling me a bitch. Which, I am. I mean, I did cut a man's liver out for licking my croissant in a restaurant.
Oh, so it's more like a sandwich. You're more like a sandwich.
So I am very mean and spiteful and basically just an all-around witch. I'm not a witch with a pointy hat or magic spells. I'm not that kind of witch.
Lies.
Oh, well, that's disappointing.
But she does have a really long nose.
Does have a nice long nose.
With a wart on it.
We weren't going to talk about that, sir. I thought we agreed. This is radio. They don't need to know what appearances. See, now I
Well,
can't.
we must take a break. We'll be right back after this break.
Now we will take a break for some advertisements. Please support our sponsors. Just imagine, this could be your advertisement. Please reach us at LionGoatPodcast@gmail.com to provide sponsorship. And now, back to the show.
Does she have moles on her chin? Are there moles on her nose and moles on her chin? With big furry hairs that stick out? Whiskers?
You've got that right.
Dude, it looks like a damn paintbrush on her nose, man.
Well, if that's the kind of woman that you like, Q, I'm not going to give any judgment. I mean, I'm attracted to lions and goats. That's my problem. My shame to bear against the world. I don't think it's shameful, though. I think it's quite delightful. I think that their long, silky coats of the goats, they're just so soft and fluffy and nice to rub and pet. And they love it when you pet them the wrong direction. I mean, they just make that bleeding sound for hours, and the lions, they're just beautiful as well. I agree that a woman can be beautiful in all shapes and forms, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying a woman that has a paintbrush coming out of a wart on her nose. Wicked woman, hot mama witchy woman. I don't like this name. I don't think that you should be called a witch just because of your personality. Is there something you would prefer to be called?
Glenda, my name is Glenda.
Oh, like the Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
I see.
But
Well,
I'm not particularly good. Obviously, I'm a criminal, a bank robber, and a liver eater, because I did eat that man's liver that I cut out for licking my croissant.
you ate some man's liver?
You remember that, Q? You were there.
Yeah, it was a pretty gruesome scene.
Yeah. It was pretty nasty.
What happened? How did you get the liver?
With a fork.
So you assaulted him?
Took him damn near 2 hours.
It did take a while to get through all the intestines and stuff.
I'm sorry, say that again?
This is really gruesome, and I don't really feel like it's a good place to, relive this and actually admit that I did this, because I have not been arrested for that crime yet. But it's possible that I could be now.
Well, yes, you probably shouldn't admit it right here on the podcast. We do have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of listeners.
I plead the fifth.
If you'd like me to edit that part out, just let me know.
Oh, yes, definitely. If you can do that, please do. I've done no wrong here, except for the robbing of a bank with a steak. I just happened to have a steak in my pocket, and it was more of a misunderstanding than anything else.
Prove it.
You were trying to deposit the steak into your savings account, and
No. See, the steak stuck to the note that said, please give me money, and it flew out of the pocket and hit the lady in the face, and the bone of the T-bone steak seemed to lodge itself in her eye, and, there was some rigmarole, and then the button was pressed, and the cops showed up, and, well, the dog attacked me.
and these are the roving bank dogs.
Do you want to talk about the dog?
No, I do not want to talk about the dog.
I think we need to talk about the dog.
It was a ferocious beast, a wild animal. It was like a
You've
werewolf.
been peeing your pants at night in the sale, alright? We gotta talk about it.
Well, I don't think that's fair. I mean, the goddamn it was.
They're keeping you in a co-ed cell, the two of you?
Yeah, it's been wild in here, let me tell you.
Please tell us about the dog, Q. We love it when you regale us with your stories. You're such a wonderful storyteller. We've missed your stories so much. I can't tell you how much we've missed your stories on the podcast. I keep telling all my friends, you've got to meet QTheGambler. It's been so long since he's been on the show. Please regale us with a story. Just regale us.
You want the dog story?
Yeah, I would love to hear what happened with the dog and the T-bone steak and how hot mama Glenda, Glenda mama hotness. What is it exactly? What is the sequence of words?
Glenda.
Well, before Glenda went into the bank, I gave her $20,000, you see.
Right. It's quite a customary gift to give someone $20,000. I completely understand.
Right. I told her, go deposit it, but be careful of the dog in there. His name is Brody. He don't like nothing. If you play any games, he's gonna bite the piss out you. That's why I tried to tell her. She don't want to listen to no damn body.
All right.
So she goes in there, give her the money to deposit, but the damn fucking steak comes out and the note lands in front of the tailor like she said here. And the next thing I know, the damn steak's in the fucking air and the dog's in the air chasing the steak.
Well, of course.
Lands on Brenda here.
Glenda?
I'm talking about tears her face, that long hairy nose into pieces, man. Dude, it was just, oh my goodness, the scene, there was so much blood. I'm surprised.
The dog did bite 3.5 inches off my nose, and it's still 4 inches long, is all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh, so you're related to Pinocchio. I had no idea.
No, I am not related to a wooden puppet, sir.
Lies.
Oh, okay. Well, I was speaking of the original Pinocchio, the story that silly child story is about. You didn't know that was a true tale?
No.
Yes. It was on TV. It starred that lovely man, Steve Martin. It was called Roxanne or something like that. It was a true story.
No, that movie was not based on Pinocchio, sir. That particular movie, sir, was based upon...
No, I'm saying Pinocchio was based on that movie.
No.
Well, I won't argue with you, Glenda.
That particular movie was based upon Cyrano de Bergerac.
Exactly. Roxanne.
Yes.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yes.
The original Pinocchio.
No.
I won't argue with you.
Pinocchio is very old. It's a very old story
Yes.
from like the 1800s.
Right. I think it came even before then. Before the stakes and...
It is not.
I thought y'all were talking about Pinocchio, the casino guy I know down there in Nevada.
I don't know him. I have not yet been to Nevada.
Oh, my bad. He's an Indian casino chief up there
Named Pinocchio.
named Pinocchio. They call him Pinocchio because supposedly every time, you bring in money to him and lose a bet, his wiener grows about 4 inches.
His little dachshund. Is that what you're saying? His wiener grows 4 inches?
Every time you give him money,
Every time.
maybe he just has 4 inches and he gets erection every time you give him money.
Well, that's just what he told me. And he said he was having like a spiritual awakening, is what he called it, in his Native American way. He did that little glance into the air and then that noise came in.
No, sir, I do not know what the hell you were trying to talk about, and you're not making any sense.
Damn it, I told you should have came to the damn trip with me to damn Nevada.
Well-
You'd understand this damn shit.
Maybe I would, but I did not go. I had prior engagements, sir. I was busy.
You want to tell everybody what you were busy doing?
It is my business, sir. If I want to have relations, if I want to get a train ran on me, like a football team, by 75 football teams at the same time, that's my business, sir. You don't be putting it out here, okay?
Are there even 75 football teams in the league?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brenda. I didn't mean to bring it up.
Really get your goddamn name right, boy. Oh, God, Q, we have been friends a long time, and you can't even get my name right.
What'd you put in this damn fucking wok sauce drink we've been drinking in here? It's got me all forgetting shit.
That is prison wine. Excuse me.
I told you put something in this drink.
Toilet wine we made in the prison toilet. I don't even know the recipe. Just whatever we can find.
Is it true that they've given you emphysema in the prison?
What?
Have you got emphysema from being in the prison, Miss Glenda?
Oh my goodness.
Your cough sounds horrible.
Yes, it is very cold and damp in here. For some reason.
Are you making the prison wine with leftover orange peels in the toilet there in your cell?
Yes.
You want to tell him about the secret ingredient?
No.
Why? I think you should tell him about the secret ingredient.
I don't think he needs to know the recipe.
Please reveal your recipe.
Are you going to make toilet wine in the goddamn outside free world? No, he's going to go to the liquor store like everybody the fuck else.
You don't know, he could be broke damn bad broke. That's all he got.
Well, if he's broke, he ain't going to get the secret ingredient.
He could. He just got a sneaky, thiefy.
I don't think this gentleman here, the host of this fabulous podcast, is going to be thieving things, sir. He is not a known criminal, so he only interviews us when we're here. Well, are you, sir, Mr.Anonymous?
No, my name is not Mr. Anonymous.
Well, that is an excellent name for a thief, though. You are correct, sir. Maybe you are nefarious. What exactly do you do to fund your podcast habit here, Mr. Anonymous?
I'm sorry if Q has informed you. I'm not named Mr. Anonymous. I will remain anonymous.
Now, please,
I
Mr.
will remain anonymous.
Mr.
Glenda, please.
Remains anonymous.
Let me
You tell me.
Let me complete my...
Well.
Then we'll continue our conversation. So I'm sorry if Q has informed you incorrectly. I will remain Anonymous.
Well, I have never been treated so poorly in my life, sir.
I'll tell you, the damn guards treat us better down here than you've been treating us so far today.
That is correct.
I am trying to treat you politely. I will tickle your taints with duck feathers if that's what you require. I will do that for you.
It's okay. You know, I'm clean now. We're good.
The truth is, well, we make all the money from the lions and the goats on the ranch. Some might say that it's a criminal offense to feed the monkeys to the lions, but they are very sick monkeys, and we do pay above the market standard rate for sick and dying monkeys. If that is a crime, then come and lock me up right now. Just come and lock me up, put me away, tickle my taint, put me under torturement, whatever you must, because I am performing a service. I am giving the lions a quality form of protein so that they can build all of the prowess that a lion deserves. And the monkeys, quite frankly, know that they're performing a service. Primates are quite intelligent. No one gives them the credit that they deserve, Miss Glenda.
Credit for what?
They deserve all of the credit in the world
You're spending money on sick monkeys?
just to feed the lions.
How you making money, sir?
Everyone knows.
Have you talked to PETA?
Yeah,
PETA?
somebody needs to call Pinocchio.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Do
saying.
not accuse me of being a pedo.
Let me continue with my questioning, sirs. Now, all I'm asking is, what do you do with the lions and the goats, besides have sexual fantasies about them,
I am not a pedo, and I will not be accused of it.
Are you selling the lions and the goats, or you just raising
Well,
them?
of course, I will sell you a goat, but not if you're going to feed it to your alligator.
I will not feed a goat. I don't need a goat. I'm not asking to buy a goat, sir. I'm asking you how you fund
Well,
your...
there are many Wiccan rituals, there are many pagan rituals that involve goats, and quite frankly, many pagans celebrate the goat and worship the goat. So I would be surprised if you wouldn't find it a lovely companion. I mean, you might prefer a goat over QTheGambler. I mean, it seems like the two of you are arguing back and forth, and I mean, I find QTheGambler delightful, and I would encourage him to hang out with lions, because he does seem to have the prowess of a lion in his gambling game. But you yourself, I feel like you might be more acquainted well with the goat.
Is it because of my nose, sir? Is it because I have a wart on my nose and I just happen to look like a witch?
No,
Is that
no,
what
no,
you
no.
were saying
I
to
just,
me, sir? I must
it just-
love a goat.
No,
I
I
must
just-
have a goat. I must
No,
be
I
a
just feel
Wiccan.
like-
I must be a witch. I must sacrifice
no, no.
animals
I
because
just think that the goat-
I look like a witch, sir. I am not a witch.
Shall not Leviathan, your love could destroy this world. You're set on the glorified verified useless. Your short lesser form, the fun and born from many demons.
I am not a witch.
No, ma'am. Just your practice of having random pieces of meat in your pocket. Goats would really like that. They would follow you around all the time. We'll come back, ladies and gentlemen, as we go to this commercial break, and I'll tell you all about my criminal affairs.
Now we will take a break for some advertisements. Please support our sponsors. Just imagine this could be your advertisement. Please reach us at LionGoatPodcast@gmail.com to provide sponsorship. And now, back to the show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here on the Lion Goat Podcast with your favorite guest, QTheGambler, and our brand new favorite witch, the lovely Miss Glenda. She's not actually a witch.
That's bullshit.
She's just a hot mama from Louisiana with an alligator named Russell and charming emphysema. And she's just asked me what sort of criminal affairs that I perform in order to fund my podcasting empire. And I think that you're a beautiful person. I think that your visage is beautiful, even with the 3 inches that the dog bit off the end of your nose there. Goats would really like that. You know, they perform amazing massages. Have you ever had a goat massage?
A goat massage, sir? I do not think that is a thing.
It is. Have you ever heard of yoga goats? Goats with yoga?
Goats with yoga.
Yeah. So you do a pose like the downward dog, and the goat just jumps up on your back, and it massages you with its little hooves on your back.
Where did you meet this man, sir? Where did you meet him, Q? I swear to God, this guy is a nut job.
Have you ever had a lovely prancing goat? Just its little hooves on your back while you're doing a downward dog?
That, sir, does not sound healthy or safe at all, sir.
Oh, it's both healthy and delightful.
Yeah, they sound like they might break my back, and that's not good.
Well, okay, I understand.
How do you know this individual, Q? Where did you meet this lunatic?
See, that's something I can't discuss with you.
That's right.
Okay? We go way, way, way back.
That's right.
I swear, I have never...
And I will remain anonymous, and I will not have my relations revealed to some unknown woman. I'm beginning to understand why they call you a witch. It's your behavior. Quite frankly, you're being rude.
In my face, you see it, right? I look like that witch from the Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Well, that's not your fault.
No, really, your face looks like you stuck in a deep fryer about 3 times and pulled it out.
Well, that's because I did, sir. I was trying to burn off this nose.
Are you sure it was that, or was it the coffee that the cops were throwing up?
It's everything at this point that's been thrown at me in my entire life. You see how ugly I am, sir. Oh, goodness gracious, I swear to God, I just don't know.
I think we should change the subject. This episode is going in a direction that I did not intend. I was just so happy to see my friend QTheGambler again. I'm glad you brought your lovely friend Glenda with you, Q. I mean, I assume that you didn't actually bring her with you. She's just there locked in the cell with you. When the two of you have to poop, is that a horrible experience, being in the same 6x6 cell with the person pooping next to you?
Well, personally, my shit smells like roses.
Of course it does. Like Guns and Roses. Just Guns and Roses. Yes, a lovely powder smell. The smell of gunpowder and the petals of a rose, I imagine. It's exactly what your poop smells like. Do you gamble while you're on the toilet?
I do.
Yes.
Most of the time I play blackjack if I'm shitting. I got 2 cards. I stick the cards in the toilet. I'll flush it down. It goes down to the 2nd level down there. And whoever I'm betting at the time, which most of the time I'm going to win, they send up their contraband through the toilet. You know what I'm saying? I got to pull it up through the toilet. That's how we got the stuff to make wine in the toilet tonight.
Oh, it's like you've got some sort of interplumbing dumbwaiter system that you've rigged up in there?
Do what?
Like a little rope elevator. You stick the rope down the toilet tube and you just sort of ring it up. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's about how it's done here.
Wow, I suppose you had to spend a long time creating a plastic shank that would cut through the plumbing in order to get the rope in there originally?
Well, no, really, I convinced the guard. Like I said, I got a couple of them on my side.
Right, I mean, a couple of them owe you money.
I convinced one of them to help rerun the plumbing down there and put mainly dumbass idiots who don't know how to play the game at all, who basically have an IQ of 1.
That is quite low.
We put them in that cell, and I basically steal all their shit all the time. And we basically have parties up in my cell every night. I'm the king up here.
That is true.
Well, that sounds wonderful. I'm glad to hear that you've found yourself in a position of power, of corruption, a position in which you feel comfortable, Q. I mean, that is truly a weight off my mind. I've been worried about you since those cops showed up and they just beat you from head to toe. There were helicopters and I heard some horse policemen and regular sirens, and it was just a horrible sound collage that occurred when you were arrested. All the listeners, if you haven't heard that episode, please link back and listen to that episode now. You will love the wonderful stories that Q regaled us with. Now, Q, are you still in touch with the Amish? Have you seen any of your Amish friends since you've been in prison? Have any of them come to visit you or make you any sort of wooden furniture or help you in some sort of remote Zoom barn raising ceremony? Have you been down to the river lately?
Yes, I have a few of my Amish buddies still around. Right now, I got a couple of them working on an underground base that's going to lead to my cell right here, right now. That way I can leave whenever I want and put a fake dummy that looks like me in here and go party and do whatever I want in the outside world with my Amish buddies. And then come back at night when the guards come back to check on me. You know, I'm back in there and I don't get in trouble.
I see. So you can have sort of an endless rumspringer through your escape tunnel. Now, are they making the fake QTheGambler out of wicker or some other form of farm implements that you're going to stack up? Maybe a little straw hat on the pile of straw or something like that? Is this a sort of Ferris Bueller's Day Off sleeping dummy scenario? What's going on here?
Okay, what it is, how they first make it, it looks like a wooden cross.
Right.
Okay.
That seems like that would fit in well with the religious element of being Amish.
And then they would cut a cow's head off, stick it on the top, okay?
That doesn't seem like that goes well with the traditions of the Amish.
These are a special type of Amish.
I guess they must use every part of the beast. So they cut off the cow's head, they sort of pinion it on like a spike, like one of the victims of Dracula, you say?
Right, correct.
Okay.
And then we have this one murder buddy who basically just murders for a living. That's what he does.
Just a murder buddy. I see.
He's one of my closest best friends, right? I grew up with him. I go tell him to go slaughter anybody, he's gonna go do it.
Okay. I had no idea you were so violent.
Basically,
I mean,
but the Amish, they're cool with it. I had to have a talk with them to be like, hey, look, I'm trying to come party with y'all. Y'all got to understand the predicament we're doing here, okay? You got an excuse.
well, they are the ones on Rumspringa. I mean, they've been given a certain allowance for their behavior.
Right, right.
I'm not sure that involves murder normally, but...
So, basically, I got my murderous friend to kill a random, like, dude, right? It didn't matter. I just told him go out in the street, find a random dude, murder him. You know what I'm saying? What the Amish did, it was my helping my murderous buddy, because my Amish kind of have a weak stomach. He cut his head off in his arm, then cut his torso, like right here at the leg part, you know, and cut him in half.
Your Amish friend? Your murder buddy cut your Amish friend in half?
No. The random guy, my murderous buddy guy.
Oh, okay, yes. I'm sorry. I was just trying to keep track of the story. I apologize. Okay. The random guy, he's been dismembered, disfigured and dismembered, decapitated.
Right. And then, I don't know, the Amish did this, like, weird trick with his torso. They, like, cut it in half and, like, super glued it and put duct tape around it.
Okay.
To, like, stick on the stick to make it give it, like, the little torso feel. You know what I'm talking about?
Like a scarecrow, you're saying?
Yeah.
Like some sort of gory, blood-covered, duct-tape scarecrow.
Correct. They went and killed a bear for the legs.
Well, you do have beefy hocks like a bear, so that does sound appropriate.
I'm sorry to tell you, they did kill a goat to kind of get the arms right.
This cannot stand. You do not have goat-like arms. You don't have little hooves. You're not a ruminant. Why on earth would they kill one of the least innocent onanistic night creatures to provide arms for you?
See, it's a funny story, I tell you.
Well, it's not making me laugh so far.
The goat...
You're gonna have to tell me which part's funny.
All of it to me's been pretty funny, but that's just how I feel about things.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to be confrontational. You've had enough confrontation with your wonderful friend Glenda there.
Yeah.
So continue, please. You're creating this sort of scarecrow Frankenstein out of goat and bear and just innocent bystander parts.
Right. And then I had my Amish buddies.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's time for another commercial. We'll have to come back with the rest of that story from our lovely friend QTheGambler in just a moment. Stick around, folks.
Now we will take a break for some advertisements. Please support our sponsors. Just imagine this could be your advertisement. please reach us at LionGoatPodcast@gmail.com to provide sponsorship. And now, back to the show.
As we were saying before we went to commercial break, the 7 books written by Dorothy Dix are a vital part of the collection, the only known complete collection of her books. In 1902, Miss Dix published her first book titled The Fables of the Elite, a collection of allegories in which animal characters act out domestic incidents, from which the narrator draws a moral. Now, the Beast Fables, as they were called, were first published as a series in the New York Journal during her first year there as a journalist. Between the years of 1910 and 1920, the Mirandi series was published. But let's go back to the Beast Fables. Now, QTheGambler, you were just telling us about the Scarecrow Beast, that these creatures of the night, these friends of yours, murder buddies, as you referred to them, your murder buddies. Is Glenda one of your murder buddies?
I mean, not really. She's kind of a pussy when it comes to it. Very weak stomach. She throws up a lot, but I mean, she's there. I guess you could say a murder buddy, but she's kind of one that just stands in the back and don't say much.
She doesn't do much of the murdering.
Right.
Just the buddying part. She's more of just a buddy.
Testify, I'm a better buddy than a murderer, I'll admit that. I do have a weak stomach. I have murdered before, as I have said or denied saying once or 7 times
I thought we weren't going to disclose that until you had arranged for legal counsel.
Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to talk here. I don't understand why...
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to stop you from incriminating yourself further on the podcast.
Well,
you were saying you've murdered sometimes.
Yes, sometimes I do indulge myself in the act of murder because, you have to in here. I mean, that's how the prison system works,
Oh, I see. It's just a form of self-defense.
It's run, obviously, on the inside here by Q. Q the gambler, the kingpin, the man himself. I gotta do what he says inside of this prison. I am his loyal murder buddy.
Are you saying that Q has made you his bitch? Is that what you're saying? Q has made you his bitch?
No. I have lashed myself to him in a plea for protection. Really.
Please don't listen to him. And once I get out of this prison cell, I'm sorry, I am gone.
You said you was gonna stay forever. You said you loved me. What is wrong with you? Why? Why is it always this way? Oh, I swear.
Calm down, baby. You know I'm just playing, baby. Calm down. Tired.
So you gonna stay?
Yes, we're gonna stay.
Okay.
Need you to calm down, all right?
Thank you. I swear, you're the love of my life. Gambler. I'm nothing without you, the gambler. I swear. You're my happiness. You're my wholeness, my peace, my heart. I love you. Please don't leave me. Please don't leave me in here. I mean, I know I got emphysema real bad, but damn.
And that's why we bring this podcast to you, folks. It's for the passion. It's for the drama. It's for the real moments. That's why we have this service that we've brought to you today, because we want you all to be aware that the first letter written to Miss Dix was found in the correspondence file entitled Letters Pre-1930. The letter written by her father is dated Sunday, the 24th of May in 1863, before he left his family at Woodstock to fight in the Civil War. Miss Lizzie, as she was called while a child, was 18 months old, and her father wrote,
My dear little Lizzie, if you should be deprived of your natural guardian or protector or the ultimately hand of death, you will be left to the tender care of your most devoted mother, my beloved wife.
Did that help calm you down, Glenda? Hearing those beautiful words from Dorothy Dix's father back in 1863, I find that the words written by folks pre-Civil War or during the Civil War are usually the most pleasant words and the words that bring the most calm to the world. Did you find that to be true?
I gotta tell you, it brought me pretty good peace. I'm sorry. I did not mean what I said. I've been drinking too much wine tonight. I'm thinking out of my head. I'm ready for my Amish friends to hurry up with this damn tunnel so I can get on out of here so we can go party. I'm sorry. We've been locked up in here for God who knows how long now.
I'm glad you brought up the Amish again.
I know it's a stressful situation, baby. I'm sorry. Maybe I should just go for a walk in the yard or something, baby. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you should go for a walk in the yard.
Okay, I'll go for a walk in the yard and I'll bring you back some flowers, baby. You know, I'll stop by the cafeteria and make some origami flowers, you know, like I like to do. And I'll paint them all red and green and yellow and blue for you.
Wait, Glenda, please don't leave. Tell us more about this origami. I love origami, the Japanese art of origami, the beautiful art of paper folding. It's one of the most splendid arts in the world. Please tell us more about your origami works. You make origami flowers? What sort of origami flowers do you make?
Yes, roses and tulips. Roses and tulips and daffodils. And they're pretty, ain't they pretty? Q always tells me that they're pretty, and he likes them, and he's grateful to have them. They spruce up the sale, you know.
They really do. As soon as you come in my cell, man, it just brightens your day up, man. Just, poof, smile on your face.
Smell on her face? Is that what you said, the smell on her face? Is that because the dog saliva has left a reeking odor? Or is that just the gangrenous knob?
Well, I said, did I say smell?
Yeah, I believe you did.
Oh, perhaps it was just the thick Georgia accent.
Damn it, I'm leaving.
I think it was just the thick Georgia accent.
I'm leaving right now.
Maybe he said smile.
I'm going for a walk in the yard.
I think he said smile. I just mistook the thick Georgia accent. I'm sorry.
You better be nicer to me when I get back.
Wait, no, I want to hear more. You must regale
I
us.
cannot live like this anymore, Q.
Did you learn this ancient art of origami on one of your trips to Japan?
I have never been to Japan, sir. I learned it at the library when I was 9 years old.
Well, that is a lovely service that the library provides. I'm a huge fan of the library here on the Lion Goat Podcast. We're big supporters of all public services like libraries and public forums for advice and education.
I swear.
And you learned at the age of 9. That's when you learned to make the flowers?
Yes, that is all I can make is the roses, the tulips, and the daffodils, like I said. That's all I really learned how to do.
Well, an origami rose would be quite complex.
Yeah, I grew up in a place that didn't have any roses or daffodils or tulips, so I had to create them myself with whatever paper I could find. Usually receipts from the liquor store. That's what my mama had around. And, well, I would rip the pages out of my textbooks. That's why I ain't real smart, you know. That's why I'm in here.
I imagine that got you into trouble as a young child. I find that it's often just like a downward spiral for children when they end up in the criminal incarceration system. It seems like it's often spawned by very simple and innocent acts of a child, and it just leads to a downward spiral. You were tearing out the pages of your textbook, and your teachers got on to you, and they began to mistreat you and call you stupid and ugly, and that's how you ended up in prison, isn't it?
Yes, that is exactly right. Society teaches life has failed me, and that's why I am in here today.
Well, I think that you should be celebrated. I mean, the talent to take a common liquor store receipt and fold something as complex as a rose out of origami, that must take hundreds of folds. I mean, a rose has many, many petals.
Actually, she is celebrated every year. October 31st. Celebrated every year.
Oh.
That is my birthday. That is yet another reason they call me a witch.
Your birthday is on Halloween?
Yes.
Well, I suppose you must get lots of free candy, and
Honestly, I don't really get enough candy on that day.
you could host quite a party with all the candy you could rake in.
It's hard for a woman of my age and my height to go trick-or-treating.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, it's probably because he was talking over me again. I swear to God, this guy is not a very good host. He does not give me any time. He asks a question and then just start talking.
Society dragging you down
I
again.
know. I swear to God, they just won't let me shine. I'm a beautiful soul. I'm an ugly face. But they just will not.
In a letter dated the 10th of October, 1940,
He's still talking to
she
me.
writes to her favorite nephew, Hunt.
I'm glad you like the check, and that you and B are going to spend it on some foolishness. Though I don't consider clothes in that light. I think that they are an investment that give you prestige in other people's eyes and buck up your own morale.
What in the hell is he talking about, Q?
I do not know. He's just going on subject like crazy. He just talking and rambling.
I see.
It can be seen, therefore, that literary inspiration stemmed from the family and was a part of her life at an early age. Among the several scrapbooks contained in the collection, one from her Egyptian travels truly depicts Miss Dix's adventurous nature. Do you find that your trips to the country of Egypt, Q, also led to your literary inspiration and your adventurous nature?
No, what led to that was probably the crack back in '04.
You did crack?
I did heavy every day.
So a plumber's crack? Was it a plumber's crack that you experienced?
No, that was only on Saturday nights.
A crack in the sidewalk that you stepped on and broke your mother's back?
No. I'm talking about the up for 7 days crack. I was on that every day. I was snorting, shooting, and smoking crack every day in '04.
Oh my goodness.
I'm surprised I'm even alive.
I'm surprised you're still alive too. Just from hearing about this torturement from the ducks on your taint. The duck feathers on your taint was enough to kill you, but tell me about the crack.
Well, man,
Was it delightful? Was it delicious?
it is very fucking delightful, but I will say about the 8th time of the day, about 4 o'clock, I shot it up. You know what I'm saying? And by that time, dude, I could fucking beat any shadow in the world, man. I was the undefeated shadow boxer. No one could fuck with me.
No shadows could fuck with you.
Yeah. Nobody and no shadow.
What about that shadow from that story? Isn't there a story about a man fighting with his shadow? What am I thinking of, Podbot? I think there's a story about a man who fights with his shadow, and it's a horrible...
Pinocchio.
Oh, Pinocchio, yes. No, I mean, not Pinocchio, Podbot. I'm thinking of, what is his name? Peter Pan. Peter Pan. Could you fight Peter Pan's shadow?
Peter Pan, it took me a while. It was almost at the end of the '04. I'm talking about 2 days before '04. Like I said, I was doing that every day. At 4 o'clock, shooting up, smoking it in the morning, fucking snoring it in the night.
So it was December 29th of 2004. December 29th? Was that the exact
The
date?
exact date, alright?
All right. And that's when you fought Peter Pan's shadow and finally beat him?
No, I walked up in this alley, and there was like other little kid shadows there, and he was like, follow me, or you know what I'm saying, whatever it was.
It was like an episode of Barney.
And then he like sprinkled some dust, okay? So I thought, oh shit, he's giving out free rocks. So I ran over there, and the next thing I know, he grabs out a little sword from his hat and starts trying to stab me with it. I wasn't playing no games. I grabbed a fucking pipe wrench hanging out of the trash can, and I just started hitting his ass till he was unconscious and wasn't moving no more.
It is a pleasant surprise when you find a pipe wrench in a random alleyway and you're being tempted by pixie dust that you think is the dregs of a nice crack rock. I mean, that is an experience that I've had several times in my life. I mean, I've never done crack, of course, but that is a common experience of finding a pipe wrench in an alleyway. And I just want everyone to know that on February 1st, in 1877, her friend Willie Tandy presented Lizzie with an autographed book. It was black leather and had gold lettering, of course. And on the first page, he wrote the following.
Light be around thee, hope be thy guide, gay be thy bark, and smooth be thy tide. Soft be the mind that beareth the sick on, sweet be thy welcome, thy wanderings done.
That made absolutely no sense to me. So I continued reading, and over 50 notes of friendship to Lizzie are carefully cited, signed and dated in the autograph book, and Mrs. Lizzie's best wishes are most thoughtful and dear. Glenda, that give you remindings of your time on the yellow brick road?
My name is Glenda, and I am not a witch.
Oh, Leviathan, your love could destroy this world.
I am not from Oz. I am just a human being that is ugly and spiteful, sir.
Oh, I thought you were from Oz County, Louisiana.
No, Oz County, what? I'm very confused by the situation that you have gotten me into, QTheGambler.
Did you indeed carve up Russell to make yourself a pair of boots, or was it Russell's mother?
It was indeed Russell's mother. She was sick and old, and it was time for her to go. And I had a conversation with Russell. I said, look, your mama is sick and she is old, and she would make some very lovely boots. If you don't mind, I will whack in her life and skin her and wear her. So she will always be around you. And Russell just snapped his teeth at me because, alligators can't talk.
Now, they sort of rumble and growl and chirp.
That is correct, but they do not speak English.
Not any that I've met. I have heard that there are creatures in the outback of Australia that can speak English. Some sort of raccoon fellow, I believe, that can speak English. But I've never heard of an alligatress. Is that what you call a female alligator mother? Is it alligatress? Is that the right word?
Yes, you are very informed about alligators, as well as goats and lions, sir. I am impressed with your animalistic knowledge.
Thank you very much. These lovely boots, is it true that QTheGambler in fact stole them to pay off a gambling debt?
Yes, that is true.
And you've forgiven him for this?
Well, he did give me $20,000 several years later. I feel like that makes up for the theft of 3 boots. I did put the time into making the boots myself because, I am a cobbler by trade.
They are worth at least $20,000.
He's a delightful young man, and he's a lot of fun to be around because, there's always a party. And in '04, there was a lot of crack.
Oh, were you doing crack in '04 as well?
Well, a little bit, only because of his influence, really.
You've known each other for nearly 20 years. I thought you just met in the prison there. Were you long estranged from each other and you've just now recently met again?
That is correct. It was August the 25th in '04 when we parted ways because he had stolen my boots, of course, and cashed them in to pay one of his gambling debts at the local. Well, I will tell him what that really was. That was a whorehouse that you had owed that prostitute for several nights of sexual activity, sir. And I knew, like I said, I was very upset about my boots going to that prostitute.
Well, actually, only about 10% went to the stripper. Rest of it I spent on crack. Like I say, I was so damn...
That's horribly accurate.
I feel bad for it, man, but I think I still know where your boots are at.
I don't want them now. They've been on that whore's feet.
How did your gator want it?
Russell is now dead.
What the hell happened to Russell? He was alive last week.
I didn't feed him after I left. He was alive last week.
Hell, man, I had one of my buddies go check on Russell.
The last letter I received said Russell was deceased, sir.
As many of you will remember, the tragedy of Hurricane Katrina did indeed hit New Orleans the same week that the two are discussing. It killed just thousands of people, flooded the town. It was a horrible, horrible tragedy, and it's no wonder that poor Glenda and QTheGambler's memories are so horribly, horribly, horribly disfigured. If I was worried about a hurricane coming and flooding the entire state of Louisiana in the very same week that my alligator shoes were stolen, I too would have a horrible time trying to remember it.
It was a horrible time, sir. It was emotionally damaging to me, sir.
Did you have family at Lake Pontchartrain?
There was a lot of crack that got lost in that fucking hurricane, I swear to God.
Was that the worst tragedy that happened to you, or did you in fact know people that lived in New Orleans?
Not only did QTheGambler walk off with my handmade alligator boots, my home was destroyed by a fucking hurricane, and my alligator, Russell, was lost. I was extremely emotionally distraught, and it's still a point of contention for me today, sir.
I can understand why. The storm damage assessment, cleanup, and logistical support continued on August 25th of 2024. The worst of Hurricane Charlie struck the park near high tide. The government docks at Garden Key, the site of Fort Jefferson, were badly damaged. The main dock was also damaged, but it's been used by the park and incident management team. The Everglades firefighters have completed debris cleanup on the parade ground, and they've shifted their attention outside the old brick fortress, starting with the campground, which was severely pummeled by the storm. There were downed trees and debris that were being cleared. A division supervisor, a squad boss, and a squad of 4 firefighters were providing labor.
It's almost like being there with him talking about it. This is very traumatic. This is bringing up...
I'm so sorry. I was just trying to remind you of the scenario.
I'm trying to forget it, sir.
Well, I was talking about the Dry Tortugas National Park in Florida. I wasn't talking about Hurricane Katrina there.
Yeah, man, you about gave us a pretty good scare.
I am not gonna sleep for at least a whole day.
Well, you were talking about alligators, and, I thought to myself, where do more alligators live than in Louisiana? Florida. You must be a big fan of Florida, since you're a big fan of alligators. Do you love Florida, Miss Glenda? I'm sorry, Glenda, I have to interrupt you again. I don't mean to be rude, but time for another commercial.
There's a lot of commercials on this podcast.
We'll have to come back with the rest of that story.
So I don't understand what that robot is talking about half the fucking time.
We are having a commercial break.
I don't even know what this guy is talking about half the fucking time.
We are having a commercial break. If you could stop talking now.
Who the fuck?
We'll be right back.
What is going on?
Now we will take a break for some advertisements. Please support our sponsors. Just imagine this could be your advertisement. Please reach us at LionGoatPodcast@gmail.com to provide sponsorship. And now, back to the show.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Glenda the Witch was just telling us about her lovely experience in Oz County, Louisiana, with her lovely alligator named Russell.
No, I hate that wretched Sunshine State.
Why? Is it because of the illustrious Florida man?
Yes. That motherfucker owes me $25.
$25. That's quite a large sum.
That Florida man,
What, in fact, does he owe you $25 for?
I'd rather not say, sir.
Oh, it's one of your secret business interactions. Well, I just had such a lovely time meeting you, Miss Glenda.
Well, thank you.
I'm so glad that you were able to come on the podcast
Yes.
and ruin my interview with QTheGambler.
Yes, I'm happy to have done it and be here.
Q, it's been so wonderful.
Alright.
It's been lovely to talk to you again. I wish you well with the law team of Dougal, Forensic, and Tyne, or whatever you said the names were. If you do need any assistance or more money put into your commissary account, just let us know, okay?
I'll let you know. I might need some probably in a couple more weeks to pay off the Amish guys.
Oh, yes, we forgot to get back to that story. So you were telling us that the Amish were building a secret tunnel line under the ground to help their pipeline of semen. What is it that they do again? They milk the other prisoners there, and they take their semen to put in the large giant vats of Amish semen that you told us about last time. Is that what they're doing with the secret underground tunnel system? Is it like an underground semen railroad? Is that what they have going on there?
Correct. Because basically, like I said, the guards I paid off made sure they put all the dumbest idiots with like the lowest IQ in one part of the cell.
Uh-huh.
What they do, they go up there with the bucket and they milk every dude up in there. You know what I'm saying? They take it back to the tunnel and they just have endless supplies of it, man. And it cuts a deal with me because I get half the price for the tunnel. And also, I get to go party with these crazy motherfuckers, man.
Well, I thought the main selling point was that the Amish semen was Amish. Is this some sort of... Are you uncovering a secret plot by the Amish to sell non-Amish semen? Or are they converting these prisoners who are so dumb to the Amish religion?
Technically, they've done milked themselves dry, is pretty much in a sense. So basically, to keep on getting money inflow, they got to come up with another idea. So what they said was, well, if we build this tunnel, we milk all the prisoners in here, and we say it's our Amish, and we sell it like that. So basically, as long as we keep it on the down low, they make their money, and no one ever knows.
Oh my goodness. Corruption in the Amish church. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first on the Lion Goat Podcast. We're so pleased that you're all listeners to the podcast. Thank you for coming on again, Q, to reveal this horrible secret.
Thank you for bringing me on the show. It's been an honor.
We hope that you'll come back in the future and join us once again. Everyone out there, don't forget, listen for the whisper in your tiger panties.
We would love to receive your feedback, your improvisation suggestions, your questions for advice, and your musical compositions for response. Please email us or send us a voicemail. Our address is liongoatpodcast@gmail.com. Find, like, review, subscribe, and contact us on Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and X at Lion Goat Podcast, all one word. LionGoatPodcast. Please subscribe to this podcast on your podcast player. We are available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and anchor.fm/LionGoatPodcast. Please tell all your friends, enemies, and any strangers to listen to our podcast. This will help us bring joy to everyone. Text-to-speech services were provided by freetts.com and readloud.net. Various audio clip content, used for the purposes of satire, were located on youtube.com and the Internet Archive. Additional sound effects were provided by freesound.org. Other original music for today's show was composed, performed, and recorded by the excellent musicians at HairelineProductions. Today's show was edited, produced, and recorded by the world's greatest sound designers and engineers at HairelineProductions. Please like their content on SoundCloud/HairelineProductions.